entertainment.
Collaborate and listen. I sit back with my brand new invention. Something grabs a hold of me tightly. Flow like a harpoon daily and nightly. Will it ever stop? Yo, I don't know. Turn off the lights and I'll glow. To the extreme, I rock a mic like a vandal. Light up a stage and watch it jump like a candle. Dance. So what's the speaker that booms? I'm killing your brain like a poisonous mushroom. Deadly. When I play a dope melody, anything less than the best of the felonies. Love it or leave it. You better gain weight. You better hit fools out of kid don't play. If there was a problem, yo, I'll solve it. Pick out the hook while my DJ revolves it.
This is fun. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Mr. Dubs is here because he's better at chopping without losing a finger than I am. So, oh yeah, sorry. Oh my God. It's all made for short people because I'm 5'0" and he's much taller than that. So, hi everybody. How are we doing? We're gonna make some delicious pork tonight. Full disclosure, we originally got this recipe from HelloFresh, but we've tweaked it a bit, and I think we've made it our own, and it's really, really delicious. So you should try it. And just a little housekeeping. I got a message early. I'll put it on the screen from our friend Smitty asking us to do like a reaction video or a little follow-up after our True Crime and Dine episodes. So going forward, we're going to set that up. I don't know. We'll tape something short with Mr. Dubs chowing down on the
video of me eating. That's
yes,
great.
a yummy video watching Steve eat the delicious food I make. Just
I can
just so
verify
y'all
that the
know.
food is good though.
There you go. So he is actually a little dark. I know. We're looking dark apparently.
I guess so.
I think we need more lights in here or something. Okay, well, I'll figure that out. Mr. Dubs is going to do my chopping tonight, so I don't cut a finger off. So he's going to get with that, and I'm going to get with the crime, and we can make a good team tonight. It'll be awesome. So as far as, let me try this. Hold on. I mean, that's a little bit lighter, maybe. I don't know why we're coming through so dark, but maybe it's better. I don't know. Feedback, anyone? Either way, I'll make with the crime. But first, one more quick item. I'm going to do a short this week and show you guys how to do this, but I just had to show off this gorgeous bread I made today. Oh, yeah. There she is. country white that I made. Really, really simple, 4 ingredients, only a couple hours of your life. No kneading, no craziness. It's really, really simple. So if I can do it, you can do it, and I will. I'll set that up for you guys. Fox has seen it live, actually. Her and I were on a FaceTime call a couple of weeks ago, I think, and she saw me take it out of the oven. So yeah, it's some good stuff. What's up, Mary? Hi, Dana. Hi, Tracy. Thanks for coming, guys. I really appreciate it. I don't know when I'm putting my gloves on so really, but okay. So, yeah, you're doing all the unsafe work for me. So I'll just make with the crime for now. So tonight, I know this is going a little bit back, way back, actually, way back, almost 30 years back. But tonight we are going to talk about JonBenet Ramsey. Somebody had, I believe it was Suzanne, I'm not positive, but someone put a comment in asking about DNA testing with regard to JonBenet's case. And it sent me down a little bit of a rabbit hole, not going to lie, as these things usually do. Sorry, guys, I'm a little froggy today, but I went down this rabbit hole, this very, very deep rabbit hole. And I don't know, show of hands, I guess. I'm sure anybody with an internet connection and any interest in true crime has at least a passing knowledge of what happened in JonBenet Ramsey's case. But in case you don't, a little bit of a primer. JonBenet was 6. She was reported missing the morning after Christmas, December 26th of 1996, by her parents, who had awoken in the morning to find her missing and found a ransom note on the stairs leading up to the second floor of their house. And the ransom note, eye candy. Yes, absolutely, Dana. He is eye candy. Anyway, yeah, her parents found this ransom note on the stairs going up to the second floor of their house, which was very strangely worded. It had claimed that the people responsible for kidnapping their daughter were part of a faction of some kind, and in order to get her back safely, they needed to pay this faction $118,000, which coincidentally was the exact amount of money that John Ramsey had received as a bonus, from what I've read. So, yeah, exactly. Must be nice, right? Anyway, not shit talking, but just saying, like, I've never gotten a bonus like that. I don't even make that a year. It's kind of crazy. Look at the chopping. Side note, guys, he can do it without chopping a finger off. It's a beautiful thing to watch. Let me get the sheet. Hold on. Okay. So, anyway, they search high and low throughout the main floors of the house, and they don't find anything. Side note here, guys, I'm going to toss those carrots in some olive oil, salt, and pepper, and throw them in the oven at 425 to roast them. So, Max, you really need to get out of my kitchen. Okay. So anyway, they don't find anything. And despite the fact that the ransom note said that nothing would happen, they wouldn't get their daughter back. If the police were involved, they said specifically no authorities, no police. And the first thing they did at 5:55 in the morning was call the police. Because if you're, and I know many of you guys are, if you're a parent and your child is nowhere to be found first thing in the morning, and you find a note saying that someone has taken your child, the first instinct that I'm going to have, I don't know about anybody else, is to call the cops, call the authorities, get somebody in who has dealt with a situation like this before, and have them help you find your child. So they call the police, but they don't just call the police. They call a lot of their friends. A lot of, yeah, throw 'em on it. Beautiful. I mean, that might be enough. Unless you want like a shit ton of carrots. So,
I already peeled.
God, keep going. They are, right, Caitlin, right? Oh my God, that's Kate from Tonks. Hi, Kate. Thanks for joining. That's so cool. I love it when people I've met in real life come in and comment in the video. It's so fun. What's up, Kate from Dunks? How have you been? Haven't seen you in a minute. I miss you too. It's really nice to see you virtually. So we've got let's see. All right, where were we? Yeah. So we have so many people just tromping around this crime scene. There's outsiders just roaming around this house, and this is not a house like a starter home or a small house or anything like that. This is Jesus. This is a mansion, guys. I mean, it is a house. They live in a suburb in Colorado. It's a very beautiful home, very big piece of property, well manicured lawn, etc., etc. Very rich area. So they're roaming around this gigantic house, and they're not seeing any sign whatsoever of JonBenet. So the police, they show up, they start asking the family some questions. They start looking around, asking people, hey, what have you seen? What have you heard? Nothing, right? So they say, okay, if you think there's even a small chance that she's still in the house, I think the best thing you can do is just keep looking around, and we'll do our thing and you do your thing, right? So John Ramsey and a friend of his say, oh, well, we haven't checked the basement. Let's go look in the basement. And unfortunately, after only a few minutes of searching in the basement, they find JonBenet's remains in a room in the basement covered with a comforter. She had been strangled, and there was a garrote around her neck. So we have a deceased girl and a ransom note claiming that she'll be returned unharmed if these people are paid $118,000. So something already isn't adding up. So the police come, they take her, they perform the autopsy, and they discover that not only was this poor little girl strangled, but there was also a fracture in her skull, like a very large indent in her skull that had caused, I don't know the word, a cranial something or other, basically a fatal head wound. So there's lots of things going on. And you guys, I'm sure, at least one of you has read something, seen something that claims to do a deep dive into this case. Right now, I'm actually going to shout out my favorite person in the true crime universe. His name is Jim Clementi. He does a true crime podcast with a woman named Laura Richards and another woman named Lisa Zambetti. It's called Real Crime Profile. You can find it on Apple Podcasts. I believe they're on Spotify as well. They are amazing, so knowledgeable, so great. And he and Laura actually did a special, I believe it was a 2 or 3 part special on a major channel, either ABC or CBS, I cannot remember, called The Case of JonBenet Ramsey, wherein they actually had a model, a life-size sort of like a set almost built of the basement of the Ramseys' home. Everything that had been present in crime scene photographs was there, down to toy trains scattered in one of the rooms, all of it, everything. So it was very accurate, down to cobweb. What?
Get on the white street anymore.
That's funny. Yeah, that's funny. Okay, so they went down to the cobwebs in the corners of the basement windows. So I'm telling you, they were thorough, because there's 2 going theories in this case, right? I mean, I'm sure as anyone familiar with this would know there's either somebody in the house is responsible or someone came into the house and was responsible for it. So that's really the war you're fighting here. You know, the cops didn't find any footprints outside, and it was snowy in December in Colorado. You would think, yeah, I mean, there's going to be snow, so you're going to find snowy footprints. Yes, Jim Clemente, he's my favorite. You're going to find footprints in the snow. We've all seen what will happen when snow is falling, and you know, there's supposedly going to be footprints outside, but you don't see much of anything, do you, after some has fallen? So forensically, they were not able to determine whether somebody had come in or not. Thank you so much for helping me.
You're welcome.
Thanks for doing all my chopping. He did the dirty work.
Yep.
You want to talk about your pork video for a minute while I take care of these?
Sure, yeah.
Pimp yourself.
I recorded a video last Tuesday, and I made some pulled pork. Aaron's going to edit it and put it up on the page pretty soon. It took me 10 hours to smoke this pork.
All damn day.
All damn day.
All damn
day. And it came out amazing. Aaron said it's probably one of the best she's had.
It was the best pulled pork I've ever had.
But yeah, put the video up as soon as Aaron edits it and gets it all together, because it's about 15 different clips. So yeah, back at you.
Woo!
I'm gonna step out.
Yes,
All
do
right.
it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. See, he did all the dirty work for me, so I didn't have to do it. No chopping off of fingers tonight. Thank you, babe. I appreciate you. He's gonna go watch with all of you while I cook some pork. So enjoy. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. So Mama bought a tenderloin, and I've got the bulgogi sauce. I know it's a lot, seeing the name, but I promise this is all it is. Korean barbecue sauce. This is my go-to brand. It's called BB Go. It's so good. Bye. Thank you. All right. So Mr. Dubs did all my chopping, so now I don't need to. But let me grab a bowl for these, and then we can get moving with the pork. So actually, before I do, I'm going to start my rice. So as far as rice goes for this recipe, cook it according to the directions that you have, whether it's half a cup to a cup or half a cup to 3/4 of a cup of water, whatever it is. Just go ahead and start your rice as you normally would. I can talk to you from over here. You're fine. Okay, so where was I? Let's see. There's no footprints in the snow. So there are competing theories from the police and from really anyone paying attention about whether it was an intruder, whether it was someone from outside, or whether it was someone inside the house. And it, unfortunately, the police focused pretty much right away on John Patsy Ramsey, JonBenét's parents. And if you watch Jim Clemente's docuseries on the investigation, he does a very good job explaining pretty much everything as far as how someone would get into the house, if they did get into the house. His theory is actually that it was someone inside the house that committed this murder. But I mean, the jury's still out, man. I think that there was definitely somebody who came in from the outside, because your options, if it was someone inside the house, are very, very limited, right? You've got John, you've got Patsy, and you have Burke. Hi, Tom. Thanks for joining. And Burke was 9, and John and Patsy, as you know, are JonBenét's parents. So you've got a 9-year-old kid and a pair of parents who are very enamored with their children, right? At least by all accounts. I know there were some awkward things written here and there about John's relationship and Patsy's relationship with JonBenet, but I'm not gonna go super deep on any of that because this week, actually, I'm gonna be starting a second weekly show on my channel, and we're gonna be doing more deep dives. We're gonna be talking details. We're gonna be talking theories and suspects and all that stuff about all the cases. So this week we'll do a little bit here tonight while I make you some delicious pork. And then later on this week, and we'll talk dates, whatever works for you guys, pretty much, is a show where I get to sit instead of cooking. And we'll talk more details about JonBenet. I'll grab some video footage that I like from Jim's show. We'll grab some newscasts and throw them up there. So we'll get like a full, well-rounded picture of the whole thing. And I think that'll be a better way to sort of get more detailed. I know I've heard a little bit of static for not going super in depth on these because it's really hard to focus on both things, focus on cooking this delicious meal, following all the directions, but also getting you guys the salacious details of these cases. So, yes, Fox, actually, that's a good question. Was there forced entry? No, there was not. I want to discuss on our next show what possible points of entry exist in the house. I want to talk about how someone could get inside. Yeah, we try to make it a good mix, Mary, but I mean, no one's perfect. It's hard to keep this banter up while I'm like, oh yeah, also, when you cook this, you want to do this. So just to get more in depth with cases that maybe have so much going on, just like JonBenet's case, it's been just over 27 years since this happened, and it's not solved. It's mind-boggling to me that it's not solved. But look at, hi guys, hi Erica, hi Stone. Look at how much was involved in this. Look at how many differing opinions there are out there as to what happened, right? I mean, this girl, how does this happen with somebody coming in from outside and their presence inside the house not waking up two adults and another child? It's just like, how did it happen? When did it happen? All of these things kind of go through your mind, and I don't want to give you an abbreviated, 30 straight minutes of here's some details now, like go live your life. I want to talk about it because it's interesting to me. And I just, yeah, visuals would be nice. Like, let's do this like I did the Molly episode, my first episode, my inauguration into the YouTube channel world of my own. I did a very in-depth episode about the Molly Bish case. I actually went to Warren, Massachusetts. I walked the walk. I took video. I mean, I showed video and spoke about what it felt like there, what it looked like, what it smelled like, what it sounded like. And I felt like that really gave me better perspective to speak about the case. So, I mean, obviously I'm not going to Colorado right now because Mama's a little stretched thin on the money. So I can't go to Colorado and walk the Ramsey's house, but I can talk about what I'm able to glean from, yes, I'm going to talk about loose mint, what I'm able to glean from, everything that's out there. And the other problem that you're going to run into with cases that are as big as JonBenet's is who can you trust to provide accurate information? I mean, there's so much out there. Like, what do? Who can you trust to provide you with information that's correct? So I have to rinse my rice. So I'm sorry. Stone, I'm so sorry. I was talking about JonBenet Ramsey. And I went on a little tangent and I was talking about Molly Bish's case. But now we're coming back around. I was just simply talking about sort of my preferred approach going into this, sort of respectfully and with advocacy, but also trying to give complete accurate information about the cases that we're talking about. So with that, this is going to be hilarious. You guys are going to watch me spill a whole shitload of rice in my sink. So, because my cup is dirty, so I'm just going to do a third at a time because this is the biggest measurement I have right now. So, you probably buy normal people rice, not randomly super expensive dumb Trader Joe rice. So, this apparently needs to be rinsed before it can go into a pan full of more water. But here we are. So here's a third. So you guys get to watch this painful process for a minute. But yeah, there's two competing schools of thought on what happened to Jean Benet, whether it was someone inside the house or someone from outside the house came in and hurt her and ultimately took her life. So how did it happen? If there was someone from outside, how did it get in? That's the thing that sticks in my mind. That's the thing I really want to know. How did this person get in the house? Because the Jim Clemente docuseries that I'm referencing right now, they actually reenacted somebody coming through one of the basement windows, which was an early theory about how somebody could have gotten into the house, coming in through a basement window and simply walking up the stairs into the rest of the house. So that would have been a pretty simple way for someone to get in. Where's my salt? No. For someone to get in if they could fit in. That's the big part there. That's the big if. Someone put an empty butter dish. Come on, people. All right. So I guess the big takeaway on that is, who do you believe? You know, do you believe Jim? Do you believe most of the investigators who say, at least at the outset, no one else was in that house? It was just the Ramseys, no one else. No one came in. None of that. It had to have been Patsy or John or Burke, or Burke did it and the parents covered up for it, or vice versa, whatever it is. So the police initially did focus on the parents, which to me, it sucks. You know, as a parent, I can't imagine. It sucks. But also, at the same time, it makes a certain kind of sense, because at first blush, you're looking at the house going, no footsteps, there's no kicked in door, there's no broken window. I don't see anybody, like how anybody could have gotten into the house, right? So what happened, you know? So I'm going to take a break for 1 second on the case stock, and we're going to prep our pork. The rice is boiling. Why did that happen? Oy vey. Calm down. There we go. Okay, we'll have to keep an eye on that. So for your pork. Oh yeah. So before I forget, let's just give a little shout out to my girl Erica Madden, whose recipe last week was an enormous hit in this house. Huge hit. Thank you so much for trusting me with your recipe. It was delicious. Thank you. And definitely, if you want to share the wealth again, have at it, because I loved it. And so did Steve. I promise. So most of the time when you're buying pork tenderloins, you're only going to get one big one. So I usually cut it in half. Yes, I can. How's that? So I just took my giant tenderloin and cut it into 2 mini tenderloins. So the first thing you want to do first, a lot of people are going to rinse it. My recipe calls for rinsing it. Just like with chicken, I don't wash my meat. I don't do it. So I'm just not gonna. But one thing that you should do, and I added to this recipe, is tenderize the shit out of this pork. Okay, so creative visualization, however you want to do it. I'm not going to try and thin this, so I'm not using a tenderizing hammer for this. I'm just aerating it a little bit, just giving it some holes so that we can get all that yummy seasoning in there and make sure that it all gets through there. Ben, those meatballs are incredible. Yeah, that was one that I should probably have done a reaction video or something like that too, because with a slow cooker recipe, it's kind of hard. You can't stay on the air for like 6 hours while they're cooking, but they were delicious. I can attest. And the next time I make them, I'll do like a piecemeal video and put it all together. So I have thoroughly stabbed my pork. Here we go. Comment any weird puns aside. Here we are. So you're keep walking away from things I need. All right. So we've got a little bit of olive oil. I'm gonna heat it in the pan, and then we're gonna brown that pork. So you want a nice medium high. I don't know what your oven is like and stove, but mine's numbers. I usually use 7. That's what we like for medium high. So I want my good seasonings, my nice fresh pepper. And we're just going to give this like a nice once over with salt and pepper. Not too much salt. It is pork. It will be way too much if you give it too much. So just kind of like a light, yeah. All right, so we got that, and then we're gonna give it like a really nice bunch of fresh black pepper in there. Because who doesn't love fresh cracked pepper? Dana, have at it, man. Absolutely. I know we were talking last time a little in passing, but there you go. All right, well, there goes that. We were talking last time about the next live show for Unsafe or whatever show I find myself on outside of this one. We're going to do a potluck thing. We're going to have everyone bring something they love to cook. I'll like take a poll, and if you guys want this recipe or the meatballs or whatever, I'll make some and bring it, share it with everybody. So that'll be fun. All right, let me get some tongs. And my pan's not quite hot enough yet, so we're going to give that a minute. But my carrots have been in there for a hot minute, so I'm going to run and check on those. You don't want to get them all nasty and oh shit. Sorry. You don't want to get them too roasted because then they're going to end up all brown and chewy. So got to keep a good eye on those. Okay. Where were we on JonBenet? We were talking about, the outsider versus insider theory. So the cops at first glommed on to this idea that John and Patsy had done this, or that Burke had done it and they had covered up for him, or whatever you want to call it. We're going to call it the insider theory on my show so we don't get confused. So we've got the insider theory where it's one of 3 people, right? And then we have the outsider theory where it could be one of any number of people. So what's up? Mr. Tubbs. Okay. That's a thing. That works. I can turn up that light too. I don't know where the remote is, but fun. Okay. Yeah. Just up. Oh, that's so bright. Yeah. Okay.
Better?
Yeah, is that brighter, guys? Sorry. Dave's account is suspended. Yeah, I know. He got in trouble. Well, we all got in trouble, but mostly him because I don't talk shit on his show. So Fox says nice call on that. Actually, we're gonna hit an intermission real fast so we can move all this shit over there. Yeah. Yeah, now we get to move it. So I'm gonna play you guys some more music. I'm not going to play what I was playing before because it's not really the vibe I'm going for tonight. But how about, yeah, we're going to play some, well, I'm going to play some of my favorite band for you guys. I'm going to shut the cameras off so no one gets nauseous. And we'll be back in just a minute.
Life is hard, and so am I. You'd better give me something so I don't die. For the soul, before I sputter out, before I sputter out. Life is white and I am black. Jesus and his lawyer are coming back. Oh, my darling, will you be here before I sputter out? Before I sputter out. Before I sputter out. Guess who's living here with the great undead? This paint by numbers life is fucking with my head once again. Life is good, and I feel great, 'cause mother says I was a great mistake. Novocaine for the soul. You better give me something to fill the hole before I sputter out. Before I sputter out.
Hello, we're back. Okay. So I love all the love for my favorite band, Eels. They are, and that was actually their first hit, their first radio tune. So let me actually turn this up a little more. We turned it down, but now it feels dark. So, all right. So we're nice and hot right here. I'm going to take those carrots out for a minute because we don't want to overcook them. So, here's what we're looking like right now. About half done. We're going to flip those over. But right now, we're going to get this pork going first. All right. So, oh yeah. That's what you want to hear. It's beautiful. All right. This will not take long, which is good. So while that is gonna brown a little bit, let me flip some of those carrots over. All right. Oh no. All right. Well, so one carrot got a little brown, just one. So I think it'll be okay. But I'm going to leave that over there until we're ready to put the pork in also. Now, when you guys are making, you guys are browning your pork nice in here, do you, as far as seasoning goes, everything is going to play nice with that bulgogi sauce. So it's going to be amazing. But add some salt and pepper. Experiment with a little white pepper. That always brings out a really nice flavor too. I'm going straight with the recipe tonight. I'm trying to be good to show you guys how this is supposed to cook. And we're only browning this pork right now. We're not going crazy. I want to get, look at that, like a really nice sear on there. Nothing insane. We're not cooking it all the way. We're just browning it so it gets a nice crust on the outside. So you can hardly see me. The lighting situation in here sucks tonight. I can't make it brighter. This is as bright as it gets, homie. I think I might be backlit by this bad boy a little bit. Hold on. How's that? Any better? No, I'm fucking dark. I don't know. We're going with it right now, though. Because the important thing is you can see the food. Oh, I know what's going on. Hold on. Let's turn that off. And yeah, I'm not fucking with that camera tonight. So is that better or worse? I don't even know. Okay, so either way though, we got the pork. That's what's important. We got the pork. Let's move this bad boy over a tiny bit. There you go. Now you can see the pork better. And maybe me better? I don't know. All right. So got a little browning going, a little bit, nothing crazy. Now when I brown my pork, best thing that I like to do, see we got a nice, nice browning on both sides. Really, really nice. So I like to make sure, like any good steak that's cooked in a skillet like this, I'm going to grab it. I want to brown everything. I'm going to hold it like this for a minute. Make sure we get a little sear on there too. Light behind me is working. I don't know what that means. Light behind me is working. I know that. But I don't know if that's like, it's got to be the camera, something on the camera. I don't know, guys. Either way, we're going to make it work for tonight. You don't need to see my face anyway. All right. So, yeah, in order to get this like double camera thing going, I had to put the ring light with my phone on one side and put the actual, yeah, it is working against me, isn't it? I'm going to try one more thing while this is browning a little more. Maybe this will help. All right, hold on. Any better? I don't know. I'm not very good at this either. So not at all. But okay. So I've gotten pretty much all my exposed pork, a little brown, right? Not fully cooked. Not going up here. Just making sure we've got it nice and browned. Looks awesome. Okay. So, okay. Now we've got, that is going to fucking stick. Hold on a second, guys. Hold on. I hate cooking spray, but right now, since I'm not boiling this, I'm just going to make sure that these don't stick to my pan. I'm just going to give it a little bit, just so they don't stick. All right. So, I'm going to transfer these to that cooking sheet with those carrots. We're going to use that again for the sauce. And I'm just going to throw these back in the oven for about another 10 to 12 minutes. All right. And while we're waiting, I'm going to check my rice. So, let's see what we got. And we'll slice that bread too. That'll be amazing. Yeah, I'll get you guys a short or something on how to make that bread because it's really good. So rice is perfect. So we're going to take that off the heat. We'll leave it covered for now. All right, so we have a minute while the pork is pork, pork, pork. While the pork is cooking, to chat a little more about the insider outsider theory we've got going on with Jean Benet's case. So, I guess the big question is, how would somebody have gotten in? The going theory with the people who are invested in the outsider theory is that someone broke a basement window and crawled in. And as I mentioned already, Jim Clemente actually reenacted this. And it's possible for someone to do it, but it's not super probable. And that's what my mind does when I'm working on some of these cases, working on trying to understand what happened, who's responsible, all that stuff. I try to think, okay, is it possible? What is possible? Well, really anything is possible, right? So you have to narrow it down. What's possible and what's probable? Like it is totally possible that somebody broke into their house undetected, because let's face it, it was something like a 5,000 or 6,000 square foot home. It was humongous. Like our house is like 2,000 square feet. If someone breaks in downstairs while I'm sleeping upstairs in my bedroom with the door shut, I mean, I'd hear it because thanks to my dog, who is now no longer begging at my feet, I would hear it happen because he'd start barking. But the Ramseys didn't have a dog. They had the basement level of their house, the main level of their house, and then the second floor, which was bedrooms and bathrooms and whatnot. I don't know the whole floor plan. I can get it and talk more in depth about that when we do another episode. But essentially, I mean, you're looking at basically from one end of the house to the other. So the Ramseys, the parents, are sleeping up here, and the basement where Jean Benet was found is over here. So there's a lot of ground to cover there. There's a lot of walls in between. Maybe you don't hear it. Like if someone breaks into your basement, sneaks up the stairs, if there's no dog there to warn you, if everyone's sleeping, maybe you don't hear it. Okay, it's totally possible. Maybe not probable, but it's totally possible for that to have happened, right? But is it more probable that someone from inside the house would do it? Well, then you have to think about what the relationships were like in the family, what Burke's behavior was like. Was he like a weirdo little kid? You know? Or was Patsy a little too obsessed with her daughter? Remember, she's a pageant kid, you know, and Patsy in her day was also a pageant winner. And, you know, there's that whole angle. And then there's John Ramsey and his work. He was very not present from some sources that I've looked into. So again, it's, you know, what is it? Who could be responsible? So yes, the outsiders, essentially their theory is that somebody broke in, took Jean Benet from her bed upstairs on the second floor undetected, and then came downstairs, leaving a note on the stairs while they were apparently exiting the house through the basement, and then killed her. I'm not sure. So again, we're going to look into all of that. We're going to do a full in-depth episode about this. I feel like it's been done to death, but not by me. So we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about what theories we like, what theories we don't really like. The whole shebang. So yes, there was a note left. I wonder if I can pull that up quick. You never believe which story, Ben. Let me see if I can pull it up. John Benet. Yeah, let's see. See if I can get a picture and pull it up. I mean, I can really only get like a preview of it, but we'll give you that. Let me add it. Hold on. Yeah. So we're looking at this. I mean, it's like really, it looks like somebody, I can't blow that up. Can I? Nope, I can't. So, and there's not really much to see. I can't really blow them up. I hate Bing. Can we talk about that? I hate Bing. Okay, so here's the note. I mean, you have to really. Oh, I can zoom in. Okay, you can zoom in on this. Yes, I can't move it around, but that's what you get. Um, so here's the note. It's a lot. Um, Someone broke into the second house of the floor. I haven't heard that. I will definitely look into that one. Thanks, Ben. I love more food for thought. That always, and it's a good slogan for the show, huh? Yeah, I don't truly remember um, what the actual motive for this was supposed to have been. The note essentially like shows you that money is your motive, right? It's money. You're looking at money because they're asking for a ransom. So obviously that's what's going on, right? But there's also this whole thing with Burke with the sibling. I don't like to speculate on that, mostly because um, that was my man Jim's theory. That was what he went with for his show, The Case of Jean Bonnet. And he ended up getting sued for that. Like Burt Ramsey sued, I believe it was CBS, for something like $750,000 because of what was said on that program. I'm not about trying to get sued on my show. I'm not about it. So the theory was, according to Jim, that it had to have been somebody inside the house that committed this murder because there was no real conceivable, probable way somebody was broken in, committed this crime, and been able to leave undetected, especially with snow on the ground. So we're doing lemon now. I meant to tell you, I meant to segue into this, but we're all new to this still, so I'm not too great at it yet. So we're gonna zest your lemon. Don't go crazy. You don't need the whole thing. You just need a good amount to throw in that rice because we want that nice lemon pepper yum in your rice because it's gonna go really good with the sauce we're gonna make in about 2 minutes. So first thing, zest it. Yeah, that's about enough. I mean, I don't love lemon zest in my food, so there we go. Just a little bit. Well, holy shit. There we go. A little bit. And then we're gonna just cut the lemon in half, so we can squeeze it. Exactly your point, Ben. Yeah, there are so many theories out there about this case, about who could have been responsible for what happened to her. And yeah, exactly. She was on the cover of every magazine. Everybody was talking about it. So there's so many people, and everyone's speculating. Everyone has their own theory about what happened to her, who killed her, all of this stuff. And we all remember the John Mark Carr days too. So it was 1996 then. 96, I was 13. Shit, I dated myself. Sorry, guys. All right, let's see. All right, the pork is looking good. My glasses are not, but the pork is looking good. So we're gonna get our rice going now, just to get it nice and flavored, so it can sit in that flavor for a few minutes before we get it ready and serve it. So first thing, we're gonna grab about a tablespoon of butter and throw it in there. This Trader Joe's butter is huge. Not 100% a fan of that. So I'm gonna fluff it and just stir it until that butter melts. That yeah, that's John Mark Carr, Mr. Dubs. That he was extradited from Thailand because, and this is back in like 2006, I believe, is when this came about. So 10 years after the fact, he was shooting off his mouth saying, I was there when she died. It was an accident and all this stuff. And they went and they got him and they brought him in and talked about him, or talked to him, interviewed him. And he did have a lot of information that nobody else had about the crime scene, about how she passed away, all of this stuff. So he's still a very intriguing part of this. Whether he's actually responsible or not, honestly, I don't know. But in any event, he had admitted, he said he was responsible, but it's still sort of, I guess, filed under inconclusive because they tested his DNA against the DNA that they have from inside the house. I believe it was DNA found inside her underwear and on the garrote around her neck. So they tested that against his DNA and there was no match. So they let him go. Yeah, exactly. Then it's a publicity thing. So I'm just adding like a pinch. Let's call it a pinch of this zest. Then I'm going to take one of my halves and give it a good squeeze. Not too much. Just this is all to taste. So you guys do you when it comes to the lemon. You don't want to overdo it. No one wants super sour rice. But this lemon pepper taste alongside the pork and the sweet barbecue sauce it's a fucking joy, guys. It's so good. And then we're gonna add some of this pepper because it's gonna be delish. So here we go. And again, this is to your taste. So the recipe calls for salt, pepper, and some lemon, but it's all to taste. So let's see where we're at here. All right, we'll try it. Okay. Perfect. So we'll leave that as it is. Where the fuck did my lid go? Okay. Okay. I'm gonna keep it hot in there. So now we're gonna do the sauce because our pork was looking good. Our carrots are done, so I'm gonna take those out. I'm gonna do this real fast so we don't lose much cooking time for the pork. Hi, Donna. Thanks for coming. Ew. Yeah, a couple of my carrots got a little brown, so I'm gonna scoop these out real quick. Get the pork back in the oven. Yeah, so what do you guys think? What's your theory? We know this case has been talked about to death over the past couple of decades, but there is a reason I bring it up. I promise. I know I'm talking to you with my back right now, but if I'm not looking at this, I'm not going to do it. It's going to get everywhere, so yeah. I'm glad I took those out right now. There we go. All right. So we're back. We got the pork. We get it there. Then throw it back on there. Yeah, a whole refresher course would be, the way to do this. Unfortunately, we have a couple fallen soldiers on the carrot front. We got a little enthusiastic, so some of them got a little blackened. I don't care personally. I think they're delicious that way. But we got a little brown ones. Don't care. Still gonna eat them. They're delicious. All right, so let's do. Chef Dubs is making bulgogi pork, roasted carrots, and lemon pepper rice. And it's baller already, guys. It's so good. All right. So last step here. We get the sauce going. Actually, let's check on sorry. The meat thermometer is over here. So let's just see where we're at so we can see how much longer we have for the pork, because you don't want to let this sauce sit in the pan because then it thickens up. It's not as delicious if it's been sitting, and you really want to serve it right away as soon as it's done. So get you a good look. All right. So this is definitely not anywhere close to being done. I can feel it. It's still very, very raw in the middle. But it's only been in there for about 10 minutes, so it's not going to be. All right, we're looking for 145, I believe, for pork. Somebody confirm. Mr. Doves, what's your 145? Thank you so much. So we are actually almost there at about 130, 139 or so in the thickest part of this pork. So good. We're getting there. We're almost done. So this is the perfect time to get this sauce going. Great, because then it won't sit. It won't be hanging out in the pan, getting grody. All right. So I'm going to take off these gloves because my hands are really sweaty. Ugh. Okay. Well, let's get to the good shit. Now, you want to take those scallion whites that Mr. Doves chopped up for me earlier. And, ooh, excuse me. Ooh, excuse me. All right. So we want to turn this back on medium high. I usually do like a 6 or 7 here. I go higher when I'm trying to sear my pork, but I don't want to go completely insane and burn these. So we want, is it butter or is it oil? Butter. We want butter. More butter. All right. Let me get a knife. All right. So we're going to get a tablespoon of butter. Ooh, the thing is popping all over the place in here. All right. Get a tablespoon of butter. Throw it in there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the thing too. There's not a lot out there about this case anymore, which I find pretty fascinating because recently, a new suspect has come to light. The police are saying that his DNA doesn't match, but just like John Mark Carr, he did admit guilt for this. So it might be worth at least looking a little closer at it. I mean, there's a lot of circumstantial evidence that points this guy, so I don't know. So I think, Tracy, that is the plan. So here's what I know right now, which is admittedly not a ton, but this is what I was able to find out. As far as familial DNA goes, they have way more in the way of technology now than they did back in 96. This case is still very much open. They're always looking for new leads. They're always checking out new technologies that can help solve this thing, right? And I guess, and from what I have heard, the only people still alive in that family are John and Burke. Patsy Ramsey passed away a few years after her daughter. She got cancer. Donna, no. Personally, no. I hate the flat top. If I could afford it, I would 100% get a gas range with 6 burners just instead of 4. I would have a lot more opportunity to prepare a lot more things and burn myself a lot more times. So, but as far as electric goes, I like it. I like it. It's consistent, and it's not insane. But I would definitely rather a gas stove for sure. So yeah, the plan is to basically take any DNA samples found by way of new technology, because there are, if you can believe it, items that were taken from the crime scene by police that were never tested. They were never DNA tested, anything. So that's insane to me. Completely insane to me. But yeah, that's another point, Donna, to the glass top. It does get very dirty. Burnt water is definitely a thing. It doesn't go away. You can't just wipe it off. You have to chip that shit off with a razor blade. It sucks. All right. So once your onions, but before I forget, so they're going to test that new evidence. They're going to get some DNA from that new evidence, hopefully, and then they're going to use the familial genealogical DNA sort of ancestry database to try and get a hit based on a family member. So Tracy, I believe that is the route they are going to go down. I just don't, they haven't done it yet. So once your onion whites are getting a little fragrant, I'm going to add a tablespoon of water. And since I have shaky ass hands, I'm bringing the whole works over here with me. All right. So, tablespoon of water. And I've already pretty much measured this. I know how much is in here. It's about as much as I want. There we go. Now I'm doing this straight. There are times, and I've cooked this in the past, where I've added a little bit of fresh garlic at this stage. It was awesome. I don't know her net value, Ben. I'm not sure. I've heard it wasn't hugely high, especially given that John Ramsey was in a position, I believe he owned a company or ran it. He was in a position to get a $100,000 bonus at the end of the year. So I'm not sure that, that her money was really like a big factor. I mean, it could have been. I don't know. She was named Little Miss Colorado like a month before or something crazy like that. So, all right. Sorry. As soon as you add that bulgogi sauce, you want to let it thicken up a tad and then turn your heat off. If you've got a nice pan like I do, it's going to maintain that heat a little more. But you want to keep it in there for about 2 to 3 minutes, just the way it is. I added water. I've got those scallion whites and the bulgogi sauce. It's really, really good. You can season with salt and pepper if that's your game, but trust me. Add that garlic in the scallion step too for a little extra flavor. I'm not doing it tonight because I'm trying to follow this recipe straight. But also, my garlic press is dirty and I really didn't have time. So we're going to check that pork again. See where we're at right now. But our sauce is finished and holy shit. Ugh. My glasses are suffering tonight, guys. Suffering. All right. Let's see where we're at. Oh yeah, that feels done. So let's check. Anyway, so what night do you guys like for an in-depth episode that we're going to start doing? Holy shit, it's smoky in here now. What night do you guys like? I prefer Wednesdays, especially with Unsafe being suspended for the next couple of weeks. We can do a trial run on a Wednesday. That works for me as far as kid activities and all that jazz. Fox, yes, that is awesome because as we all know, Fox is the best in the biz with this mod stuff. She is absolutely amazing. And that cool little intro that I have now for premiering for the first time tonight is actually done by our friend, What the Fox. Thank you again. It is everything I wanted and more. It's incredible. So thank you. Big ups for What the Fox. You're amazing. Let's not cough openly on the board. All right. We've hit 1:45. Oh, that wasn't the one with the sound? I'm sorry. I must have pulled the wrong one off there. That's weird. Okay. Well, thank you for letting me know. All right. So we are at, I don't love that. There's parts that aren't coming out 1:45. I'm going to give that a second to get there. See what happens. Next one. Exactly. So let's go for Wednesday. We'll have a nice long chat about morbid shit. It'll be really fun for all of us. Yep, we're at 1:45, guys. Perfect. Okie dokie. So, now, the best way to serve this, and this is coming from experience, is to take your pork and plate it and then cut it. Not all the way. But basically just cut it down, cut it in slices with a nice knife, so that when you pour the sauce over it, you're going to get like a nice, it's going to get all up in there. It's going to be delicious. So we'll slice that one up so you guys can get a good picture of the end product here. And seems like from the few responses I've gotten that Wednesdays are good, so we'll go with that. We'll go with Wednesday nights for right now. And I like that idea. Wednesday is a good night. We don't have any ballet or it's not a huge amount of shows going on Wednesday night, so I think that's a good idea. So we'll do Wednesday. Still, Wednesday night we'll do a deep dive into JonBenet, and keep sending me story ideas, guys. Like if you have a case that has bugged you for 5 minutes or 10 years, talk to me. Send me a message, do a YouTube comment, throw a Facebook comment up there. Whatever you want to do, show me what you want to hear about, and I'll do some research and we'll talk about it. It'll be great. So, I have too much shit on this very tiny counter. What time? I got to put my kids to bed, so let's call it like usual, maybe 7:30, 8 o'clock. What do you guys think? I'm thinking I don't want to rush my kids to bed like I had to tonight. So probably 8 o'clock, if that's good for you guys. That way Mr. Doug will be home and settled. I don't have to worry about him rushing home from work or anything like that. So it'll be a good time, 8 o'clock. So let's do Wednesday, 8 o'clock. And let me show you this wonderful, beautiful, delicious sauce. And yes, Smitty, I believe, is who commented that. We will do a little reaction video. I'll get the first bite from Mr. Dubs and he'll love it. All right, so you want to just get that on there nice and even. There we go. That's a good amount. There we go. Get it all up in there because every bite is going to be amazing. Magically delicious, if you will. So, no cooking, Stone. We're going to sit, and I'm finally going to make use of my neon sign that I bought a million years ago for lives. So, we're going to do this from the office, where I've rearranged my desk, and you guys don't have to look at the chaos on the walls behind me while I'm broadcasting. So, okay. I will do a reaction video for Mr. Dubs to try this delicious pork. And at some point, we'll figure out what the hell's going on with my lighting, and then we can maybe do this again so you guys can see my face. So that's all for tonight. We'll talk more about JonBenet's case and the new suspect that has come to light on Wednesday. So join me, 8 o'clock, right here. Actually, down the hall a little bit, right over there. And we'll chat true crime, and we'll have a good time. All right? Talk soon. Enjoy, guys. Have a good night.